Why are people saying that Steven dies in this season?
Pardon?
I know.
That's what I want to know. I just saw that Jenny Han said something about a really unexpected twist. Like actually a few months ago or something, like a month at least. And now I'm realizing what that meant.
I think she said that to throw us off because she was saying, everybody knows the ending. Everybody knows the ending. And so she's put that little thing in there somewhere to throw us off and think that Belly chooses herself at the end.
Yes.
If you guys remember last episode, we were talking a little bit about that, but
which we don't think that's true.
No, but you know what? A lot of people made really good points you guys did in the last video because you guys said technically Belly does choose herself.
Yeah.
But then she chooses Conrad.
Right.
So even if that were to be an option, like that still is true. Both are true.
Both are true. And
in a way that's choosing Jeremiah, you know, like for his best interests.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
They're all working it out.
You guys, today there are so many theories online. So we're going to go through them all.
All of them.
Well, we're going to go through as many as we can. On Reddit, there are TikToks,
all
obviously.
Across the board.
Yes.
TikToks.
People go in depth.
I'm sure there's
too.
reels.
We're going to go through some of the scenes that we think we got wrong too in our last decoding video that you guys kind of pointed out. And once you said it, we were both like, oh my God, dude.
This?
Yeah.
Our job.
Or we had one job and we failed. But
yeah. you guys are on it. Seriously, it's actually amazing.
It is impressive.
It's impressive.
The detail-oriented people out there.
It's so cool to
You know what I
read.
mean?
Yeah.
I thought we were being so meticulous. No. They dropped the schedule, which I find so funny because people yesterday were like going hard on, oh my God, they're releasing everything at once. Kind of like what we were talking about last time.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
And new poster too, which I love and has so many intricacies in that as well.
Yeah.
Which they're all in their like wedding gear. Remember from like the final scene of the trailer?
Yes.
They're all in those outfits.
Yeah.
Which I find so fascinating because I'm like,
and I have some theories about that.
Do you?
Mm-hmm, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like in your TikTok things?
Yes.
Oh, okay, perfect.
With Steven and Taylor. And
okay. Spoiler alert also maybe add. Okay.
Spoiler alert.
If you don't want to be spoiled, you know not to watch these episodes, but this is your warning.
The Summer I Turned Pretty Season 3 predictions rapid fire. Laurel's book makes the New York Times bestsellers list. Instead of it being set in Belly's freshman year of college, it's set in Belly's sophomore year of college. This will account for the delay in production because of the writer's strike.
That's what always caught me up is like, why 4 years? That's a lot. That's a long time.
A long time considering like that's only when they would get back together, like Conrad and her.
Right.
Even.
Doesn't make sense
because there's a gap between them getting together, like after she, you know, takes it or like
that's what I mean. Then that would prolong even more so. Like then they would be way older.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I do think that they are going to keep the cheating plotline. However, I think the writing is going to very much specify in the show that it's technically not cheating.
Not unfortunately. I think that's good.
I think so too. And sorry to pause. I have actually seen that quite a lot of like, are they going to do the cheating or it's going to be like a slip up, like not too much of a big deal.
Not a big emphasis on it because then people will be mad at him.
And like keep him a good character. But I'm like, that's part of the book. That's how
and the whole point is that's what
and I hope it happens.
And the whole buffer in general is that they were technically on a break, so it makes you not want to hate him even like you know what I'm saying? Like not
so I'm
fully
like, I
hate
think
him.
it's just gonna be the same. To me, I don't see why they would buff it up or down.
No, I agree. Okay.
I know this is gonna upset my Team Jelly fans, but I do think they're going to keep Conrad as endgame. Lastly, Belly never tells Jeremiah that she slept with Conrad. Either she just never mentions it or she specifically lies about it. And when Jeremiah finds out, that prompts a fight. Not that he slut shames her, but rather he's upset that she lied to him.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that would make the most sense. When we're talking about all of this, the bit under the sheet stuff, like that would make the most sense, honestly, like but I don't know. Or are they just going to make them do that? Like,
I don't know because it's like,
that would kind of make more sense to me.
Because why are they in that bed scene in the trailer? Like they're both kind of naked in it.
Yeah.
Looking seemingly.
Yeah.
I mean,
to the naked eye, it does look that way. Yeah.
Naked eye. And then we got the hot cocoa scene. So it's like clear to me that it's, you know, it happened.
Yeah. And I don't know.
Tricky situation, I guess.
It really is actually because it's like all
how do you do that?
I mean, that's the whole fucking issue with this thing is that they're brothers and it's like
it's the weirdest
even like
thing.
Just when you try to rationalize quite literally anything, it doesn't make sense. So
yeah, you can't really think too much of about that aspect, I think. No, they're friends.
No.
They're all just friends?
No, they're just buddies. Do agree with the Sky and
I know, I do actually like that idea. Sky and Cameron coming to the wedding. I'm like, that could be a cute little thing, and I feel like Jenny Han would do that. Yeah. Like, I feel like it's just enough to be like
and they're gonna give Cameron something somewhere because like he deserves it. He's so good. He's such a good actor. You know, I was watching Ginny and Georgia, the new season.
Yeah, is he in it?
No, but no, but there's a character in there called Wolf who kind of reminds me of Cameron in a way. Like he's that like kind of like character that gives, you know, Ginny like a little bit of like off, like not so much stress, just a fun relationship and gives her a little bit more confidence kind of thing. Yeah. And I think that kind of reminds me, oh my God, this new season is so good, by the way. Sue me! Take me by the Swiftie chains. I saw a thing on Twitter. If the real Swifties don't watch Ginny and Georgia, you guys don't even know how we feel about that. I'm sure Taylor Swift even watched it. I know. I was looking back at her tweet from that. I was like, oh my God, she kind of went in on them, dude.
She was mad. I remember that.
Don't get me wrong. I totally, like, I do think that it was a stupid joke. But, she was mad.
She was really
rightfully
mad.
So, but whatever.
No, because I think this is what's going to happen with the new season of The Summer Turned Pretty. I do not think that Jenny Han is going to deviate too much from the general plot line of the book. Meaning Belly will end up with Conrad. I do think the ending is going to be like a little bit ambiguous. Jeremiah and Belly are going to get to the day of the wedding as we see in the trailer, or like night before, whatever. She's going to be like, no. And then I feel like we're going to get that I'm choosing myself plot line from her with that. But at the end, there's going to be some sort of alludement to her being with Conrad. One more thing though, do her parents get back together?
This is a theory that I've been seeing a lot, is that the parents get back together.
Okay.
Which is really like
unnecessary. An unnecessary deviation.
I don't even
in
know
my
why
opinion.
To be honest, anyone would care.
Right.
Like to me, even like the Laurel and the other author plot line, like I don't really care about. Sure. I want to see more Conrad.
Yeah. Right. But like we're here for one thing. We only have so much time, babe.
Exactly. Yeah, so I don't really care about that
Love
part.
them, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Yes, I get you.
So I'm like, I don't know why we're
make a spin-off or something.
Right.
Get your spin-off.
Cute and all, but
carry on.
Do it.
Again, all love.
Right.
And the whole thing with Taylor, if you've read the books, Taylor was not a good friend to Belly in the books.
Yeah.
This is so true.
That is a good point.
She was so
and they make her so
Belly.
likable because Rain as a person, I'm sure, is like so like wants her I don't know. That's an interesting point too.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
And Annika was like the good friend in the book.
And she was always just
and
so
they came back together, and Taylor was like a good friend. Don't get me wrong, but I do think maybe I guess opinions are not like her judgments, and then she goes to like the wrong, like she's rooting for the wrong brother. In my opinion. That's the issue.
But we did see that in season 1 and 2, I guess, of like more so season 1 of her being like
where they got in the fight.
They're fighting.
That's true.
You know, so
that's true.
So, like, obviously that's different. Taylor and Steven's a little bit different, too. I don't think we're going to get a lot of scenes with, like, Conrad and Belly actually, like, together. But...
And I did see that they were filming in Paris together, and that was tea. Oh. So they do go to Paris.
Right.
For the...
Confirmed.
Okay. They were filming there for a month.
Wow.
And someone said that it's not that important since Gavin was only there for 1 day to film. I guess so. Of like, and they were hugging or something in it.
Oh, in Paris?
Yeah. And then Chris and Lola were there for a whole month without him.
No, yeah. I'm sorry.
That's
one thing that I truly do believe in my soul. Like, this is Conrad and Belle. Like, that's the book. If you read the book, like,
yes,
Jeremiah checks in. Like, he's there every week, but like those weeks go by fast. So I guess, but like,
yes. And we get point of views from Conrad. We don't from Jeremiah in book 3.
No. Yeah.
Like, I just think it will be the focus.
That's such a great point. Yeah. I don't know. I really think that we're going to get a lot of... I do think it's going to be, like, if anything, more split, because there are a lot of Jeremiah scenes in the book. Like, obviously, the first whole part. But I think they're going to breeze through the first half, to be honest.
That's what I'm thinking. And then they're going to focus in on, like, the wedding and, like...
Yes, the planning, the wedding, the...
Yes, all of that.
Peach scene.
Peach scene being at the summer house.
Yeah.
So...
Right. I don't know.
We saw her deliberately hide the infinity necklace from him, so that makes me think like Jenny is intentionally showing us Belly's purposely withholding something. Like Jeremiah finds out about Christmas, he's gonna find out. eventually. Like, he's going to find the necklace at some point, and it's going to be a big deal.
Well, I'm just trying to think, like, no one else knows what infinity means to them.
This is interesting because it's so true that, like, the Jeremiah doesn't really understand the point of, or doesn't even know really about it.
I don't know that he's ever even seen the necklace.
Maybe he would notice. But he doesn't know what it means to Belly, to them.
Yeah. Oh my God, I never even thought of that.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Honestly, like, because Belly really filters a lot of the Conrad stuff to Jeremiah, so it's like he doesn't know anything. So I wouldn't even think, he doesn't know about that.
I know. It's just such a good.
Oh my God.
I didn't even think of it.
You'd assume if you're dating someone for 2 years, that she'd at least like disclose certain things about their relationship, right? Or like how far they've gone, but I don't know.
I really think that like Jeremiah is so sensitive to Conrad.
I think that is how Jeremiah's take is in the book. He's like literally like, I don't even want to know.
Yeah, like
I don't want to think about it.
Can we not?
Yeah, don't even tell me.
Like even when they were on the beach, and Belly does try to bring him up and looking in bad times. Like, why would you? But at the same time, every time she does try to,
he shuts it down.
Which again, understandable. I would probably be the same.
Sensitive topic.
Yes, but in that, when you do shut people down like that, they're not going to tell you other things.
Yeah. Sorry, you snooze, you lose.
Write that down.
But like, would Conrad write her a letter and like mention infinity or something, and Jeremiah finds it, and then he like puts 2 and 2 together? I just feel like there's got to be some mention of infinity.
I'm about to get me an infinity tattoo. I'm going to go get my 1975 box, and I'm getting infinity in it.
An infinity in front of it.
Infinity is coming back.
Like, Loki, it could be cute and dainty.
Mm-hmm. Just saying.
I mean, like, Jeremiah was present when Conrad poured the syrup on the pancakes. He was present when that memory took place.
True, but they also.
But he
also
also
watch that flashback again and see if he was paying attention.
Right. That's the thing is, I doubt that he was, but like maybe.
I feel like that would take a lot. I'm not saying he's dumb or anything, but I do think like. I feel like that would just be a lot of like jumping to conclusions to be like, oh, I remember when Conrad explained the concept of infinity to you.
That would be a little crazy on his part. But I mean, I've seen weirder things. But that's interesting. All of that is very fascinating.
I know. It was just a good detail that
I've
never thought about.
No.
And
because
true.
It's such a big part of like this
but Jeremiah doesn't know about it.
And infinity is not really like, I feel like they've made it more of a point visually in the TV series than it was in the book.
It does feel that way for sure.
Like I don't
even with Junior Mint and like everything like
like Junior Mint I feel like isn't even talked about that much in the book, but he's shown a lot, and I understand the symbolism. I get it to visually show like she's like yearning,
right?
And like these memories are attached to these like physical items. I get that, but
for the plot,
looking back, I'm just saying,
it's not too much of a crazy thing.
No.
Okay, now we have Stephen and Taylor
for
series,
the sailors,
and there's quite a few. I think they're all short.
Okay, hot take. Would you prefer this? Do you like the Stephen Taylor kind of like switch up in the show?
Yeah,
I do too.
I don't mind it. Like,
I really love both Stephen and Taylor.
So I don't
in the
know
show.
How
so
I would care.
Yeah. And I think that you do need to add more in for TV shows, or else people don't want only one thing.
Yes, it keeps it interesting for sure.
Yes.
And honestly, they're really cute together, and just like in real life.
Maybe that would be the spinoff. Is that?
No, literally. If only. No, maybe. Steven dated what's her name in real
Minnie?
life?
I know.
Minnie, yes.
Isn't that so cute? They're cute
so
together.
Cute. Are they still together?
I thought they are.
Maybe they are. I haven't seen them in a while.
Conrad, Chris Briney and his girlfriend are always hanging out with them. They're like best friends.
They're so cute.
So that's adorable. Yeah.
I love that so much. Oh, okay. This kind of goes
details
that I missed.
Okay.
By the way.
So
I know. So that's Taylor
in the parking lot looking shocked,
and Steven's doing like a U-turn.
Yeah.
And that's
in the hospital bed.
Yes, the hospital bed.
Okay.
I didn't know this.
Wait, maybe we should skip. I do have something on this that connects directly. No. I'll read it right now. I've seen the theory that Steven is going to die, and I'm praying to God that he doesn't. Which, again, there's no fucking way that they would make, like, that doesn't make any sense structurally to this, like, at all.
It doesn't make sense.
It would be such a weird thing. So, and obviously, like, I just don't.
Death.
I feel like that's like a 5% chance of that happening.
Yes, like death.
That's crazy.
I think an accident.
Yeah, sure. It's like in everything where they get, like, even in Ginny and Georgia. I'm not going to spoil it. Well, spoiler alert, Jenny and Georgia. Like, no one dies. You didn't watch it. I can't say it. Never mind. And then they say, he won't die, don't worry. According to the leaks, he gets a concussion.
And he would.
That would make sense because you know how those TV things, they always like they leave it on a little cliffhanger kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen. They're going to leave it on a cliffhanger. Oh my God, what happened to Steven? Oh my God.
And he's like unconscious.
Yes. And he has a concussion. It brings me back to the Fosters.
Literally.
With that fucking concussion storyline.
Please.
Ruined whole relationships over it.
Yeah, I did not
pick up on that, dude.
I didn't either. I gasped out loud.
That's crazy. Also, I don't think the wedding sequence is real.
Susanna is in the background with longish hair. How Belly describes she misses it before her cancer. And I was like, that's crazy.
Is that Susanna or is that Taylor?
That's Taylor.
Okay. Yeah. That's Taylor.
But they're saying it could be Susanna.
I mean, she does like vaguely in this blur look like Susanna. Don't get me wrong. I could understand that.
I know.
But when I really look,
clearly Taylor.
That's Taylor. I really do believe that's Taylor.
My theory is that this is the surprise ending, what Jenny told us. And it's Taylor and Steven. And so we will have a different ending of the books, but Conrad is still endgame.
No, those are like the Conrad people who are like ensuring Conrad.
Like
which I didn't even know they were called Conrad. I don't like that name.
I don't like that either.
I like Jellyfish a little bit more, but
yeah. It's probably just a past flashback of when Taylor and Steven were together when they first started college, present day, and then they aren't together anymore. Like that's their happy moment of them outside of the sorority house in the trailer. And then they're basically saying like once he gets into this car crash, she'll realize like
that they need to
he's
be together.
Mine.
Could agree with that in theory. Like I could see that. But again, I just feel like that would be unnecessary drama that doesn't need to happen.
Yeah.
Like they're already deviating so much by having that storyline. To add too much drama to that storyline wouldn't quite make sense. Like even to be honest, in season 2 when they were kind of bickering back and forth and creating these fights, like I was like, just keep them together. Like I don't think they need to be like fighting that much. They should just
be shooting together.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I don't know.
I do agree with that. Steven will get into a bad accident, which Belly and Jeremiah's wedding will be canceled. She'll somehow blame herself, fall into despair, run to Conrad to feel the closeness again, to be seen and to be understood by someone who loved her first and still loves her. Belly mentions how Jer is just easier, but she sees Conrad everywhere. That's emotional residue and unfinished business from her past love. We all know how chaotic Belly's feelings are. She'll drag the boys until she realizes it. It has always been Conrad. Eventually, Jeremiah will cheat on her, and that's her cue to get back with Conrad. Steven has always been Team Conrad, and we can assume he's much closer to him than Jer. Belly will always run back to someone who made her feel safe first. That's Conrad.
Maybe in Steven's concussed state, he's overly brutal, and he says, Belly, you need to be with Conrad. You should not be with Jeremiah. And she wakes up. She's like, oh my God, he's so right.
That's
maybe
so
that.
true.
I don't know.
But you know what? I do think it helps that the plot is like Steven's like with it for Conrad. He's like rooting for him.
Yeah.
Because I think that speaks volumes.
For sure. Yeah.
To me, like I feel like that's a good
indicator that who she should be with.
Right? Like Big Brother's intuition.
Yeah. Big Brother's always right. But I could see that. All of those are very fascinating. They really get me thinking. I like almost don't even have like knee-jerk reactions to them because I'm just like processing.
I know it's a lot to take in, especially like different views on everything. I'm like, everyone really interprets everything so different.
I agree.
There
was a thing of why like Jenny Han said that they needed an extra episode this season because instead of 10 episodes they're doing 11, and it's because she really wants, because there's a point in somewhere, I don't know if it's in here, but that the ending, if you've read the third book, it does feel kind of rushed, whereas like not rushed, but they like really wrap it and tie it in a bow very quick. Like I even remember feeling like that back in the day, but like I read it again and I was just like, oh my God, it really like you don't get them together at all, really.
At all. It's like literally the whole book is Jeremiah and Belly figuring things out, and then it's like a second of them.
In a TV series, you want to see like the happy ending, like again to watch, and I guess throughout the book you're kind of like it's that yearning, and then you kind of I guess do end on like a happy ending like that. For some reason, it just because it's all in the epilogue, maybe that's the reason. Because you think it's done,
And then
it keeps going, and then it's like that's where the actual ending is, and so maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Something, does feel rushed though.
So I'm curious to see how they're going to do that, how much time they're going to give Conrad and Belly at the end when they inevitably end up together.
That's what I think. I'm so curious. I can't wait for that ending. Yeah. In a weird way, I'm like, I just want to know how they are doing it.
I know. I just
hope it has its moment and we see good moments. I agree. In a lot of them.
I am pleased.
Like a 60-part Sabrina Carpenter man-child video of all the memories.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. They better budget it out for this baby.
Please.
But there are so many. I'm not super on Reddit, but I was going through the Summer Turned Pretty subreddit. I was like, oh my God, there are some theories.
Really?
Babe.
Wow.
Yeah. And one of them, here are a few that some user said, but we all know it'll follow the books, but some changes I have on theories based on the leaks that they saw, which I have not seen any of the leaks, I don't think.
Me too. Where are they getting leaks? I haven't seen
blinditem.com.
One leak. I have not seen one leak.
No.
Other than the picture of them in Paris.
Okay, montage of jelly moments to Birds of a Feather. According to leaks, Birds of a Feather, the song by Billie Eilish. Okay. That's what they're going to do for the Jeremiah and Belly moments. More of their moments, Conrad in his life, and ends with Belly running after finding out about Lacey. So that song, I'm like, how'd you get this leak? But that song, Birds of a Feather, that doesn't, I don't like that there.
At a frat party though? Or aren't they at this party when they find out?
Yeah.
So why would that be playing?
So then when she finds out about Lacey, and then knowing Belly, she goes through her memories and she's like, but we had all these good times, and then it's boom 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 boom, we should stay. But I don't like that song for that. I think that should be
right. I don't
I love you, I'm sorry, no, you were the best, but no, not that either. What's the song? We're gonna make a
Daddy, I love him. But it's to Conrad.
Or the Black Dog. Do you miss me? And the Black Dog and the
starting line, but you're too young.
Fresh out the slammer. I know your Scott will be too fresh. That's who she's running
and
to.
And then it pans to Conrad.
Fresh out the slammer.
Everything was right.
Wait, no, but I was thinking, what if it's the smallest man who ever lived?
It could be
the smallest man who ever lived.
Literally, I do think, I was thinking about it, I think But Daddy, I Love Him has to be in there somewhere.
It has to be.
And they
Birds
call
of a Feather
me a
for
slut.
that. Slut. Might as well be drunk in love. That's them laying on the floor together.
All I need is you. Got love struck, went straight to my heart.
And because Birds of a Feather just doesn't make sense for that.
It makes not even a remix of it. I don't think in any way it could be that.
I don't know. I disown that.
But okay.
After car accident drama, my theory is that the accident also pushes Jeremiah to propose to Belly at the hospital. No,
it doesn't do it like that.
That would have a lot of changes.
It does not happen like that.
No, because they're saying maybe if they take the cheating sequence out, they better not.
And they
have Lacey though, so why would they have Lacey?
Right,
she's casted.
Right, yeah, that doesn't make sense. And then they're gonna make Steven die off and have a scare, and then they're gonna be like, oh, he's too short.
Yeah, and then everybody's just gonna propose.
Everyone's
no.
Yes, their parents would have a heart attack.
Yeah. Also, this is not against these people that are writing this. I wish I had the brains and creativity.
This is amazing.
We're just saying our opinions.
This is
truly
so fun.
I'm serious. All love. Them at the summer house. Bonrad moments. Shopping for the wedding dress and Steven's internship. Denise. Who the hell's Denise?
Who are these characters?
It says Jeremiah will be the one to leave her at the altar instead of Jeremiah calling off the wedding. He'll find out about Conrad's confession after getting left. Oh, they think it's going to be kind of mixed up rather than in the book how the sequence is kind of you don't agree with that.
Wait, keep going. I was just lost.
Okay, so this person thinks that he'll find instead of Conrad confessing to Belly before the breakup and him finding out before and being okay with it kind of thing before they remember right before their wedding, the night before he found out that Conrad expressed his feelings to Belly. Yeah. Then after they think though it's going to be swapped and that he'll find out about Conrad's confession after he gets left. So that would hurt him even more, I would think, because in my opinion, he already knows that then they both decide mutually they're or she decides, I guess, that they're not going forward.
Right.
I think that still the way it's written is better a little bit. Like,
I do too.
Just again,
It'd be
less harsh.
Yeah. I can't imagine them being that harsh.
Right. And Conrad will drive the getaway car, and we'll hear Getaway Car by Taylor Swift.
I did see on the, like, in one of the previews, whatever, I don't know which one it was on, maybe the new pictures, they were on the sailboat, which means
yes,
that Conrad is still in touch with Cleveland.
Right.
Or has a sailboat.
You know what?
They're on a sailboat.
Yeah. And you know what I thought was interesting is that I didn't put it together that Ernie in the book, when he talks about Ernie and visiting Ernie and like not wanting to give him that is they've transitioned him into Cleveland and the show, which are completely different characters, definitely.
I didn't even realize that either, but that's so true.
Yeah.
It's like still that character,
right?
Of, like he's talking to someone.
Yeah, and it's like an older guy that he like worked with and did stuff with, but
Oh, that's so interesting.
And knows about the like lore with Belly and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think Laurel and John will get back together. I don't think so either.
So, yeah, I think there will be some sort of union, of some sort, because like between them, because of that scene with Belly and him like coming together, being like, we have to stop Belly.
That's the thing. They don't hate each other.
And they never have.
No. And so I think that they can mutually be like, okay, we're worried about our kid.
Yeah. And maybe they'll be nostalgic then.
Sure.
But I don't think,
No.
Anymore.
Yeah.
Something that I saw, remember in season 2, when they were talking on the phone, Belly and Conrad, they said something about like her parents cheating. Like, I don't think I could get back together with someone when they're cheating after they cheated or something like that. And that literally directly goes into the next season. And I never thought about that. Yeah. But they've already like prompted it.
They've already brought that little thing up and got it in your brain a little bit.
Like spinning of like Belly's, that's not Belly's character of like, I think that's what she said of like, I don't think I could do that.
I don't think I could do that. And then she also said something about that she didn't care that's what actually one of you guys said that Belly didn't care whenever Jeremiah or Conrad asked, because Adam cheated on Susanna. That was the conversation.
Yes.
And Belly was like, oh, I wouldn't care if my dad cheated on my mom.
that's what she said. Yeah, she said I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So when Belly is on the phone with Conrad and he tells her that Adam cheated on Susanna, which she previously didn't know, then later she says, if my dad had cheated on my mom, I don't think she would have even cared. And they'll use it to be like, see, this is foreshadowing Jeremiah cheating on Belly, like what happens in book 3, and that's what's going to happen in season 3. First of all, you're using show exclusive things to support book exclusive things that haven't happened.
And so they're kind of like putting that in, and then that's why you see in season 3 that she's like so loose about this. I mean, to an extent, most people would be like, oh, okay, like, no, you wanted somebody else, again, in our little skirt of not being together.
Yes, yeah. But
no.
Wow.
She didn't do that.
It's crazy how they did that. It went over my head when I was watching it.
Oh, me too. We think instead of Belly being chicken about the wedding like she is in the book, it will be Jer.
He's gonna get cold feet.
This will have to do with the combination of him knowing Conrad still loves her and him meeting somebody he falls for through his internship. Because that's what I like when you look back at it. The fact they were both like in that hotel sequence scene where Conrad's like, just go for it. And then he goes for it, but he's still like in love with, like, you saw how visibly upset he was.
And the night before, he literally that night was like, Belly, you're whatever he said.
To like live with that and then he'd be okay with people being in love with your girlfriend for that long.
After just confessing, like we see right through you.
I don't get it. We think that the whole Paris plot plays out, and while she's in Paris, Steven will be we'll have the car accident then. Interesting.
That would be terrible timing.
That would be, yeah. And Belly and Conrad seem to have fulfilling lives outside of just their romance. I hope the show leans heavy into their own individual growth, which I agree also.
I agree with that too, because she said that.
Yeah. And in the book, it really does make like Belly seem like she only has these people in her life. Like she not only these people, but like that's all she lives for is like her love life kind of thing. And it's like But then in the show, she has volleyball.
Yes,
and
I was just gonna say that.
You know what I mean?
She has these interests.
So I do think
like swimming and whatever.
Yes. And I do think they do a good job of that in the show, too. I'm
so
excited for that peach scene.
I know.
I
am so excited.
It's dripping down her face, and he takes his thing, and she says, that's the most intimate thing, like, anybody's ever done for me kind of thing. Like, the most tender thing.
No. The peach scenes in life.
I know, like I'm telling you, if I ever write a movie, I want to have a peach scene. Since Gerald will pull away from Belly to find a possible love interest. Okay. You know what? Wait, isn't that the end of the book? I do think Jeremiah had one.
I think so.
Like whenever they were getting engaged kind of thing. That's why she kind of felt fine like going with Conrad because Jeremiah had somebody else, shows up with somebody else.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe it was that. Like, yeah.
I don't know. I wonder about that, but that would make the most sense. I do think like for user like viewer mentality, like I do think that they do have to do that for you to not feel so bad for Jeremiah.
Yeah, like something
psychologically it needs to happen.
Maybe Taylor will steal.
Just adds creates like a whole separate love triangle. Now it's a Venn diagram.
With
Steven and her now. Oh fuck. Anyone else hoping we get a flashback of some kind laying into or just expressing disappointment in how Belly and Jer handled the end of season 2? Yeah, I do agree because it's like you wanted to kick them in the face because they're like sitting there like obviously waiting for Conrad like and now after you've been waiting for hours now you're gonna kiss
at his school while you're waiting for him.
Piss me off. Literally. Like
I know.
I was giggling, kicking my feet. Again, you guys know we are split to an extent. With Overwatch and Conrad or whatever. But like we were giggling, like I was ready for that scene. But at the same time, it is still so frustrating, things like that. It's like now I couldn't just enjoy that scene fully without knowing Conrad was there.
I know. Like why?
Move it 5 minutes before.
5 minutes.
And then he doesn't. I guess it makes sense.
Also,
but because of that, we got the sassy Conrad in the car.
I was just gonna say that, like, I loved that part.
I think that was Chris's best acting.
Ever,
like, I just thought he was so funny and so believable in that.
So good. That's exactly how it would play out, like, because you're comfortable with them to be like, yeah, I'm
right. Oh, okay. You would get like the fire under your ass. Yes.
That was good. He really does remind me of Paul Wesley from Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Benito's speculations for
Benito?
We were like, who is Benito? And then somebody was like, oh, Benito is somebody that Conrad in the letters at the end of the book makes fun of Belly for seeing, kind of like jokes around like, oh, like how's Benito kind of thing, like because she had mentioned like maybe going on a date with somebody while they were friends before they like really rekindled.
Okay.
So but I don't think that's going to be in there because I haven't seen anything about him being cast. We got like Lacey and Aggie and stuff, but not him.
And also, I feel like that's a really small detail.
And it could be like in like trigger warning. What's that book?
Normal People.
Oh, in Normal People, like how like they'll like write back and forth and they'll like mention somebody, but they don't actually show them.
Show it, yeah.
Could be like that.
It definitely could be.
I don't know. Okay, let's look at your guys's in our comment section of our past video. You guys really laid down some of like the
best
truths.
Yeah, things I've ever heard.
Yeah. I heard someone say that Conrad is going to voice and narrate an entire episode, so I'm excited for that. I'm like, nope, that would make sense because Jeremiah had one last season.
He did.
And so Conrad will. And I think that's when the whole... I'm going to put money on it. We should do bingo, too. I found a bingo thing.
We should do it.
We should. But this makes sense because also I think it's going to be when he's shown back at school in his white coat.
Oh, that could be
I think that's going to be narrated with him.
Oh, I'm so excited for his narration. I think that's what I'm top two
like
things.
His point of view on everything.
Because it's in the book, I love that part where he's like, I see Belly, and it's like,
yes. And I want to shoot myself in the head.
Yes, with the nail gun.
I've been there. Done that. I think the scene where they're laying on the floor is when Belly falls and Conrad is trying to... you guys!
This literally...
That pissed me off.
I wanted to...
so much for
shoot myself in the head with a nail gun.
Neither of us thought of that. Dummies. Because you know what?
Why are they lying on the floor?
Because you're right. We were so wrong there. Like we were
so
remember we were literally like, why are they laying there? Why? We could not figure it out. We went through this book. You see it? And I didn't go through the first half and pin it. I did like my section and I didn't like get actual things. And so I didn't even remember that happened in this book.
I know. I forgot. I totally
I haven't gone back and looked at that chocolate scene in so long.
Yeah. Oh my
I was so mad.
That was genius.
I can't wait for the surf injury scene. I will die. Literally saying like that's going to be my favorite scene. I already
and the falling
claim
thing. And the falling scene, honestly.
Yes, that one's cute too.
There's gonna be so many good things.
I wonder how they're gonna navigate that. You know how people got pissed off at Taylor Swift for putting like the like fat thing on, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, weight is so like people get so mad about that. Like that
I wonder if they'll say that. Like
the freshman 15 and she like obviously didn't gain any weight. Like I wonder how they're gonna say
they
that.
Might not. And I feel like
but that's such a big part of that. It's so real. That's my thing about the Taylor Swift stuff. Just because you don't agree with it, like. I could go on a rant, but I just did. I think the third book is the most impressive and important of the series. It really shows like a new perspective from Belly and Conrad. I agree. Mm-hmm. And like how intertwined they are as friends and like compatible, dare I say.
Yeah.
I think the last clip is the rehearsal, hence why her dad isn't walking her down the aisle. Or it's the actual wedding and she's upset thinking she's never going to see Conrad again after he tells her he's leaving. I feel like Jenny is going to up the drama and have everything go down, have Belly go down the aisle and leave Jeremiah at the altar. That would be kind of was like that, but like that's what kind of still what we say. I just don't. I understand where that point of view is. I just hope not. I won't let myself get there mentally. That's my issue.
I know. I think so.
I don't want to see that. That would hurt me too much. So sad. I'm an empath.
And like honestly, Jeremiah looks. Whenever he looks sad, he like really does
breaks
it.
your little heart.
Yeah, he's like a puppy dog.
He's good at that. Yes. It's funny when people start with the she's going to choose herself ending because in reality she does choose herself in the books, and then later on she chooses Conrad because they both have had the growth that they needed to go through. We touched on this, but it's true. You were right.
That is
I didn't
really
even think
true.
of that.
Yeah, I think that's so true.
This was one that I'm also so mad at us for. We missed the detail, you guys. The first scene when she's in the car, when Belly's smiling and she's like waving the whatever, she's with Conrad. That is probably the goddamn peach scene or the stamp scene.
Yes. I knew it in my heart.
Yes.
When I was doing that scene, I was like, because it didn't make sense that she
would be with Jeremiah because people were like, oh, that's not the red Jeep.
Driving and yes.
Yeah, we were so wrong there, you guys. That's like, okay, we just wanted to run through some of the theories because we thought so many of them were so interesting and get your brain really working.
They really do. It is like a workout for your brain, like going through all the series, and it's so fun and interesting. And honestly, and nothing has gotten me more excited than, I mean, our last video.
Sure.
But like this, going through the series and like picturing the scenes is top.
It is.
Top for me.
We don't have much time left, you guys. Actually, like less than a month at this point. A few days ago, it was exactly a month.
Yeah, and then we get the whole summer to like think about it.
You know what?
Until fall, almost,
drag it
September.
out. Maybe I do think like sometimes people like that know best. You know what I mean? We're all so impulsive. Of course, we want them all at once.
Yeah, and it really creates the like
tension.
The tension of like that was the summer of summer I turned pretty.
Imagine you just get whatever you want in life.
Imagine
that's how that would feel. Okay,
nothing's free in life.
No, nothing comes free, so it's fine.
So, yeah.
And let us know your predictions. Obviously, continue it down below because we love hearing them. And thank you guys so much for watching our past 2 decoding videos. They're so much. They're some of our favorite videos that we've done,
and it's like amazing to see how many of you all love it with us.
I know, and feel the same way about this show and
feel
book
like,
series.
Like we only have each other with it,
right? And that's the thing. We grew up only talking to each other about it, and so to have you guys to talk about it's so fun. Yeah. And so we're gonna continue this because we'll become fucking Summer I Turned Pretty people. Like I don't care. I will brand that on me like the Summer I Turned Pretty. That I will go down with that shit. Yeah, I will go down with that. Hands up and surrender. And we'd love to do a music video for this as well. We obviously have to do our playlist.
Yeah.
So prepare to get sick of our Summer I Turned Pretty. We only get one more season to do this, and then we can't talk about it ever again.
Sorry.
So
sue me.
Yeah. Sue me. I want to be.
Sue me.
Ooh. Oh my God.
Throwback.
Sue. Oh, the Sabrina. Sue me. You're so pretty tonight. Yeah. All right. Subscribe down below if you want more, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye. Love you.